20 actors who died before the last movie was released. James Dean as Jet Wing in Giant 1956. James Dean died in a car accident in 1955 at the young age of 24. Before his death, he had completed filming on his last film Giant, who was released in 1956, starring alongside heavyweights like Elizabeth Taylor and Rock Hudson. Bruce Lee as Lee in Enter the Dragon 1973. Lee died in 1973 at the age of 32. There were a few projects released after his death, including 1978's Game of Death. But his biggest is the one that was released just a few months after his passing, titled Enter the Dragon in 1973, which made Lee an immortal icon. Vic Morrow as Bill Connor in Twilight Zone the movie 1983. In 1982, veteran actor Vic Morrow was filming his part for this anthology film based on the popular TV series. In a stunt gone wrong, Morrow and two child actors were killed by a helicopter during the filming of a scene. The segment would be reworked and released in 1983. Heather O'Rourke as Carol Ann Freeland in Poltergeist 3, 1988. O'Rourke was filming the second sequel when the actress became ill. 6 months after production wrapped on Poltergeist 3, O'Rourke died at the tender age of 12. After her death, no more sequels were made to the original franchise. Brandon Lee as Eric Draven in The Crow 1994. Brandon Lee was only 8 years old when his father Bruce Lee passed away. The actor was killed during the filming of his last movie The Crow when he was shot with a prop gun that was loaded incorrectly. The movie was released more than a year after his death at 28. Chris Farley as Bartholomew Hunt in Almost Heroes 1998. Farley was on the cusp of becoming a dependable leading man, but a drug overdose ended his life in late 1997. His last film, Almost Heroes, about a buddy comedy set in the 1800s with Matthew Perry, was released 6 months after he died in 1998. Alia as Akasha in Queen of the Damned 2002. In 2001, Alia was tragically killed in a plane crash in the Bahamas after filming her Rock the Boat music video. The movie Queen of the Damned was released 6 months after her death at only 21. Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight 2008. An accidental overdose ended Ledger's life in January 2008, months before the movie that would make him a movie icon was released. The Dark Knight smashed box office records and is considered one of the best superhero movies ever made. Philip Seymour Hoffman as Plutarch Heavensbee in Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 2014. At the height of his success, Hoffman would sadly die of a drug overdose during the filming of Part 2 of Hunger Games Mockingjay, and had not finished all his scenes yet. Hoffman has already appeared in the first sequel in 2013, but both Mockingjay Part 1 and Mockingjay Part 2 were released posthumously. Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor in Fury 7 2015. Walker was killed in a high-speed car crash in 2013 while filming of Fury 7 was still ongoing. In 2015, the film was released in his honor. While Walker had filmed most of his scenes before his death, visual effects and the help of his brother as stand-up gave fans closure. Chadwick Boseman as Levi Green in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom 2020. Boseman died of a colon cancer 3 months before the film Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was released. In what would be his last role, Boseman played a troubled musician in the 1920s. The film would go on to be nominated for numerous Oscars, with Boseman himself nominated for Best Actor. Carole Lombard as Maria Tura in To Be or Not to Be 1942. Lombard was Hollywood's highest-paid star in the 1930s, beloved for her screwball comedy and her tabloid-ready romance with Clark Gable. Lombard was killed in a plane crash on her way home from appearing in a rally to sell war bonds. Her last film, To Be or Not to Be, was released just a month after Lombard's tragic death at 33. Cameron Boyce. was actively working when he died at just 20 years old of an epileptic seizure in 2019. 3 of his films were released posthumously, including Rent in 2021, Mrs. Fletcher, and the third installment of the Descendants series. Anton Yelchin as Pavel Chekhov in Star Trek Beyond 2016. Yelchin had a short but busy career before his untimely accidental death at 27 in 2016. Yelchin died a month before the scheduled release of the third film in the series Star Trek Beyond. James Gandolfini as Albert in Enough Said 2013. Gandolfini died unexpectedly of a heart attack at the age of 51 in 2013. Gandolfini's final role was in the romantic comedy Enough Said, which was released 3 months after his death. His fine performance earned him posthumous Best Actor awards from the Boston Society of Film Critics and the Chicago Film Critics Association. Tupac Shakur as Detective Jacob Jake Rodriguez in Gang-Related 1997. Tupac was shot and killed in Las Vegas in 1996 at the age of 25. At the time of his death, 3 more films were in production, including his very last gang-related release more than a year after his death. John Candy as James Harlow in Wagons East 1994. The funny man was just 43 when he died of a heart attack in 1994. His last film, Wagons East, was released 5 months after his death. River Phoenix as Boy in Dark Blood 2012. When Phoenix died at 23 of drug overdose in 1993, he was in the middle of filming Dark Blood. The movie was left uncompleted and only finished and released almost 20 years later in 2012. Natalie Wood as Karen Brace in Brainstorm 1983. Wood was filming the sci-fi flick Brainstorm when she died mysteriously at 43 while boating with her husband and friends in 1981. The film was released 2 years after her death in 1983. Rudolph Valentino as Ahmed in The Son of the Sheikh 1926. Valentino was one of Hollywood's first superstars, a sex symbol for the ages, though his entire career took place in the age of the silent film. Valentino died of peritonitis at 31. Several films were released after his death, most notably The Son of the Sheikh 1926.